So let me build this pipeline now. So it will check out the code, and now the SonarQube quality check is going on. Let's just go ahead and let's just see the logs. Scroll down, and here Maven will try to send the log artifact to the SonarQube, and SonarQube will reply back again to the Jenkins if it is fine. So QualityGate status is okay here, we can see. And now our docker file commands are getting executed. So now Helm datree is going on. Validation checks using datree. If you will click on this link, you will come here. Your datree policies is, so this is our datree dashboard is here. Let's go back again. We should open a new tab. So our pipeline is succeed. Okay, so we would have got our docker image to the Nexus server and the Helm chart to the Nexus server. We are using private repository, that is why. Okay, and in the end of this, so people who have been subscribed, they will get a mail. So we can see in this mail I have got the success message. Apart from that, I have added few details like what is the project name, what is the build number, and what is the URL that has been built. Okay, if you will click on that, you will directly go to the Jenkins dashboard if you have the access. Okay, so as we see, these are the things. So quality check, QualityGate status, and docker build and docker push to the Nexus. We are doing docker push to the Nexus, whatever image we are building using the docker file, multi-stage docker file to the Nexus server, instead of storing into the public repository, that is Docker Hub. So instead of that, in this project we will see how we can organize our setting in that way, so that our images, docker images will get into this private repository that I have been hosted into Nexus. And once after this, we are identifying the misconfiguration into the Helm chart. So in this project we are using basically Helm chart. So using datree, we are doing the pre-validation instead of going to the production and the code will not work fine. So instead of that, we are doing pre-validation in the CI phase only. Like you can see, this is my CI pipeline. So we will get something like this. So where is the datree? I have opened, right? So in that dashboard, you have some validation and all which will be applied for the production. Suppose someone else is handling on datree. So in that case, there will be some checks and validation that your Helm chart has to follow. Okay, once that is done, we are pushing the Helm chart to the Nexus so that we are maintaining the version of the next Helm charts. Fine. And this is all about the CI part. So without any further ado, let's get started with the project. So hello guys, this is Vikas. Welcome back to my channel. And today we will be discussing about end-to-end project, real-time project, that is industry level basically. And here we will see multiple tools integration using Jenkins, and these are the tools we will be using like Docker, Sonar Nexus, SonarQube, Kubernetes, datree.io, Helm chart. Okay, and these all things will be integrated using Jenkins, and here we are using GitHub to store our code. So this is the visual diagram you can see here. Let me go ahead and let me show you about what are the tools we are using in this project. So let's go to the workflow first. So here developer will push the code to GitHub. Okay, so developer will push the code to the GitHub. So as a DevOps engineer, what you have to do, you just have to take the code, create a new branch, and or either you can pull a branch as well, pull the code and you can create a separate branch as well. You can pull or you can create the separate branch using develop branch if your developer are using develop branch, right? So once you have this, so first and foremost thing what you have to do, you have to do checks and validation. Okay, so that is called SonarQube analysis. So that we will do using SonarQube. Okay, so SonarQube have a plugin, Maven's SonarQube plugin. Okay, using that we will be validating our code, uh, like basically it's a static code analysis. Using, you can see like how many bug counts are there, how many code coverage, what is the code coverage of the code. So these all things, there are many things rule. If you want to add custom rule, that also you can add into this SonarQube dashboard using SonarQube dashboard. So once this is done, static code analysis is done, we will do the quality gate status check into the SonarQube using the SonarQube only. And here we have the if else condition. If the SonarQube check is failed, then we will mark that time, mark the CI as failed, and we will send a mail to our teammates. Like there will be so many team, there will be so many people working in your team, right? And you want to notify like this build has failed and why it's failed. Those all logs you will be sharing with the developer team. Okay, if it is failed, then you will send the failure mail. If it is succeed, then in that case what you will do, it should go for the multiple stage. Like in your Jenkins, you will be writing this declarative pipeline, right? So it will have certain stages. Once it is succeed, then your next stage will run. So that is what, that is a multi-stage Docker file you are using to build the artifact and create the Docker image. Okay, so we will build we will see how to write a multi-stage Docker file. Okay, and using the Docker file only we will build the artifact, and using that artifact we will create the Docker image. Okay, earlier what we used to do in our system only, we were installing Maven, and we were generating the artifact and copying to the Docker image, right? In this case we do not need to install Maven onto our local system, correct? Instead of that we will be using multi-stage Docker file, so both things will happen. Now this is done. So now you have the image version. So in the real-time project you have to store your different version of images. Okay, you have to store the different version of images. So in that case what you will do, you either you can host to the public repo, that is Docker Hub. You have to create a Docker Hub account, you have to tag the images with your particular Docker Hub account ID, and then you have to push the images, correct? But here in this project we will see how we can push the images to my private repository, that is Nexus. So we will host a repository into the Nexus, and the Docker image whatever we are building we will be pushing to the Nexus. So we will see how the process is, how Docker will authenticate to the Nexus, how we will make the connection, how we will do the configuration. Okay, and what are the steps we have to follow to achieve this is very important. Okay, once you have pushed the Docker images to the Nexus, your job is now, your next stage is you have to check if any misconfiguration you have with the Helm chart. Okay, like suppose if in your code if some syntax error is there. Okay, and here we are using basically datree, right? So it will have some checks and validation. So let me show you. So here you can see there will be a set of rules, which is this is enabled, this is disabled, correct? So let's see what are the active rules presently we have. So these are the presently active rules we have. Okay, and your Helm chart should have to follow these all things. Okay, Your Helm chart should follow these all things, rules and regulation. If you want to create your custom policy, you will click on that and you will start creating this. So we will see how we can configure this datree.io along with the Jenkins. So that is also very very important. And let's go back. Okay, so once, if your check is failed, then again what you will do, you will mark the CI build as failed and you will send the mail to the particular person, like your code is not up to the validation mark, right? It is not passing the checks, correct? If it is succeed, then what we will do, we will push the Helm chart. Like in the Helm chart we have certain versions, right? So whenever we deploy, we just have to change the version. Okay, we will be creating release with new version, correct? So that also we are maintaining the version. Okay, once we will push this to the Nexus. So here also we are using Nexus, so I will show you how we can create the private repository to store the Helm chart on Nexus. Okay, and here this is just a manual approval, and this is just like you can say this is a CD part, right? And this what we have done till now. Okay, this is CI part and this is CD part. We will be deploying onto the Kubernetes cluster, correct? So now let's go to the tools. What are the tools that we are using? So first tool we are using, that is GitHub. So as we know, this is a distributed version control system, and this is the most popular source code management tool, right? And here in this code, why we are using this to store our application code, to store our Kubernetes manifest, Jenkins file, and so many things. Okay, even our Helm chart as well. Okay, the second tool we will be using, that is Apache Maven. So it is a build automation tool. Primarily we use it for Java. You can use it for many other tools as well, like C hash, Ruby, Scala, and other languages. So here we are using to to use the SonarQube Maven plugin, Maven SonarQube plugin, so that we can do the static code analysis. Okay, when we will build the code, correct? So this is all about Apache Maven. Coming to the SonarQube, so this is, you know, that is open source platform. Okay, and using this only, we will be see how many bugs and smells in present in our code, what is the code coverage we have. Either you can set like your code coverage should be like greater than 70%, greater than 70%, then only your code should then only your static code like quality gate should go ahead. Okay, otherwise it should fail. So okay, so I need to remove this line. This is for like if you will use Gradle, that is faster than Maven as Maven and Ant. Okay, so here why we are using this, here we are using a SonarQube plugin to validate and verify against the SonarQube, correct? So coming to the Jenkins, so it is open source automation server. Here we will be creating our pipeline, so we will be integrating each and every tool with this. So we using many plugins Jenkins will provide you. Using that, your life will be easy. So here whatever tools we have, like your GitHub, Maven, SonarQube, Docker, Kubernetes, datree, everything will be integrated using Jenkins. Okay, so this is the master. Now going ahead and let's see that this Docker thing. So this is, guys, this is the this is Docker we will be using. So we will be basically writing Docker file to containerize our application, and we will be creating image as well using that. And using image, like we will be writing Docker file. From Docker file we will be creating Docker images, and using those images we will be creating containers, right? And those images we will be pushing into the Nexus repo, so that we can maintain the different version of the images, correct? So this is basically a virtualization platform. correct. Going ahead, this is Sonatype Nexus, guys. So where we will be storing our Docker images and Helm chart version. We will see how we can create the Helm repository, Docker repository. That is basically a private repository we will be using here. So basically, we are basically storing our artifact and Docker images to this. Okay, and after that you have the Kubernetes. Okay, you have the Kubernetes. So this is basically open source container orchestration system. So basically you using this you can scale, or you can manage your containers, number of containers, you can create replica deployments and many more things. Okay, in CI/CD we will be using this to deploy our application using Helm chart. So we will be basically deploying our application using Helm chart onto the Kubernetes cluster. In the last we have the datree.io. Basically, that is basically to check the validation of your code against some rules and regulation. So these are the rules and regulation defined for the default policy. So this is the default policy we will be using. These are the setup rules your Helm chart or code should Helm chart should follow. Okay, so Helm has certain rules and regulation. Like you can see, this is my folder, this is the my app, this is my Helm chart, and these are the templates we have, deployment.yml. So here I have variabilized these all things. So these are just a dummy variable, so I will be passing these all variables at the runtime, so don't bother about this. So I hope you uh, so I'm assuming that you know Helm chart. So this is just a simple Helm chart at this moment, and let's just go ahead and let's just see how we can configure these all things. So here, how many server do we need? So we will be creating one server for Jenkins, one server for SonarQube, one server for Nexus. Apart from that, 1 2 3, and I will be using here kubeadm for Kubernetes installation. That is a very easiest way to install Kubernetes. So mainly we need 5 servers. So let me just go ahead and let me create these all servers. So just stay tuned with me. So first server I will be creating Jenkins. Ubuntu 20 I will be choosing here. This is what I will be choosing here. And select the key pair if you have. So I have created this Jenkins key which I will be using here. Apart from that, security group as of now leave as it is. We will do the configuration later. And here I will be taking 20 GB because going forward I need to install some packages, and also that is why I have kept it as a 20. So let me launch this. So we are good with our Jenkins server, right? Now we need, let me filter this. Maybe that is in initiate phase, that is why. Okay, let's check. This is in pending state as of now. So let's just go ahead and let's just create a server for SonarQube till the time. So this is our SonarQube server. I will be using again Ubuntu OS image 20. This comes under free tier. Once this is done, let's choose. Okay, I missed something. Actually, you should take at least T2 medium for this project to run smoother. So I have to recreate the Jenkins again. So I will be creating, don't worry. And for the SonarQube, at least you need, for SonarQube installation, at least you need two things: T2 medium instance type, and this uh, configuration storage should be greater than 20, greater than or equals to 20. Once this is done, let's launch this. So I have to recreate the Jenkins. Okay, that is one point. Okay, let's again create one more server for Nexus, correct? If you know how to do the installation, you can go ahead and watch the configuration part. Okay, if you don't know, then you can stay here, because that is also going to be helpful for you. Otherwise, if you will choose some other version, the way I am doing that is different. If you will choose some other VM version and you will be commenting like, I'm getting this error, that is basically due to the version mismatch, because the script and all I will be using, that is for 1 to 20 as of now. Okay, so I have created these all things. So Jenkins server I have to recreate due to the packages and all, otherwise it will be very slow. Let me delete this. Okay, instance state, terminate, launch instance. We will see how the configuration happen, that also we will see, so just stay tuned. Why it's loading slow? So I'll be choosing T2 medium. So let's choose the image, that is 1 to 20 again. Just select your key pair, make sure you are choosing the one again and again, otherwise you will face issues while logging. Not an issue, but you will forget, because there are so many servers you have ran till now. So this is my Jenkins. Now let's just do the configuration part. I will put this link. Okay, you just have to go to my repository and installation script, and let's configure the Jenkins first. Okay, see where is the Jenkins. So jenkins.sh, this is the one we have to go for. Let's go back. Let me log into the Jenkins server now. And this is terminated one, which is okay. Let's take the IP of the Jenkins. I'm opening putty, and this is the IP of the Jenkins. Let's go to the SSH, copy this, and click on browse and take the choose all files. Where is my key? Jenkins. Okay, just open this, accept, and log into the server. Basically the name is Ubuntu only. Okay, and here we have to install the installation command. So for that you need to update the system, and let me do it one by one. Do not try to do all at a time. Something will left, then again you have to do the things again and again. Okay, so let's update first. We will install the Java or JDK version that is required. That is minimal prerequisite to install the Jenkins. Okay, once this is done, let's hit enter. It will install the JDK JRE, default JRE I mean. If you know the installation part, I already told you can go ahead and watch the configuration part. So let me pause this screen and let me do the installation. Let's check if Java is installed. Okay, so this is the OpenGTK version, correct? Let's go ahead and let's just execute the other commands. So here we have downloaded the packages, and here we have added it to the source list, and here we have to let's copy this command, and now we are executing the command to install the Jenkins. Hit enter. Till the time we can install the Nexus as well. Let's get this. I can let me log into the Nexus server as well, or before that let's do the thing on SonarQube. Okay, let's check if Jenkins is ready. Not yet, right? Let's configure the SonarQube server now. Okay, let's take the IP. SSH, choose the key, Jenkins, open. I given a wrong. That is why this is the IP. Go to SSH, authentication, choose the key. Okay, this is the wrong key, right? I have to choose Jenkins. Okay, now let's put the username, that is 12. Once authenticated, let's check if the Jenkins thing is done. So Jenkins thing is done. What are all the things left? So now we have to restart the Jenkins server. Okay, after not restart, we have to start the Jenkins server, and then we will get some password, right, for the first time. So let's execute this. Once that is done, let's hit enter. So permission denied. So why? Because you have to be a super user. Okay, so this is the password. So now let's try to access our Jenkins. Copy the IP. What is the port? 8080. By default port of Jenkins is 8080, right? So you will not be able to access, correct? Why? Because due to the security group. Let's go ahead and let's allow some ingress rules. So in inbound rule, as of now, I will be enabling all the traffics. Once you have enabled, let's reload this page. So your Jenkins is up. Now go back again to the Jenkins server, take the password and paste here, continue. Install suggested plugin, you have to click OK. And now let's go for installation of SonarQube. So how to do that? Let's go back to my repo and let's search for cheat sheet, my cheat sheet. Okay, and here you will see installation guide on Ubuntu. Search for SonarQube. So this is what SonarQube you have, SonarQube installation. This is for 1604. So see, with this much configuration you have to do, but this is for 1 to 16. So you have to set up the databases and all, right, in order to install the SonarQube. So for the easiest way, what I will be doing, I will be using a Docker container for the SonarQube access. So what we can do, let's just go back to again to the installation script repo, and let's go to the Docker first, and let's see, this is our SonarQube. Okay, here we will be installing Docker. Okay, let's take the command one by one, whatever is required. So I will be putting this link so that you can refer it and do the smooth installation. Don't worry about that. So let me pause and come back to you once this is done. So once this is done, you can run the command docker info. So once this is done, you can run the command docker info in order to connect with Docker. So you can see you will get definitely some error like this. So how to resolve this? So see, this is the path you have, right? So for that you have to assign some permission. So I will be giving it 777 permission. Just copy the code and paste here. Okay, now if you will do docker info, see, here you can see all the list of insecure registry that has been configured or not. So as of now, it is by only taking the default one, right? So your Docker has been installed. Now our main task is to create a container for SonarQube, right? So let's type the command docker run. What is the name you want to give? I will be giving SonarQube only to the container, and I will be exposing port 9000, that is the default one. So what does this mean? The host port, the local port, means this server port will be mapped with the port 9000 port of the container. Which container? This SonarQube container. So whenever we will take the IP of this host and we will hit this, so traffic will automatically get transferred to the container with this port, because SonarQube is running on this port, right? So let's do one thing. I will be exposing one more port as well. Not required, but you can do like this, multiple port. You can expose multiple port. Now what is the image? I will be using this image. Just hit enter. What is the issue? So now docker run -d. So we will be running in detached mode. Why? Because it should keep on running, right? So I did it. Just hit enter. If you will not give this d, you will, when it will create the container, you will come into that, and when you will do control C to come out of it, it will be automatically stopped. So make sure you are running the container in detached mode, so it will be keep on running. Now check docker container ls. So you can see your SonarQube is running. How you will access your SonarQube? Just go to console, take the IP of your SonarQube, means public IP, click on SonarQube. This is the public IP, and so default port we have exposed, that is 9000. So you will not be able to access because for this particular SonarQube you have not exposed, right? You have just given this port as 2022, so you will be able to SSH to the VM, but you can't do like HTTP. So once you will allow the inbound rules, so as of now in this project, so you can add one more rule, right? And you can do custom TCP and directly 8080. Okay, but for this project I am exposing all the traffic, custom, save. Once this is done, see, your SonarQube is now ready, up and running, right? So till the time, let me I do not need these two as of now. Let's cut this, cut the terminal. Now I need to access the Nexus, right? So let's do the setup for SonarQube. So it's by default password is username is admin and password is also admin. Hit enter. It will prompt you for the next new password. Okay, you can't keep the again same password. So old password was admin. New password will be I will keep sonar only, sonar update. Once this is done, we are good, correct? Now the third thing, let's log in, let's configure our Nexus server as well. Go to instances, take the public IP of your Nexus, create a session, Jenkins, okay. Oh shit, again and again I'm giving wrong name. Ubuntu, okay. So many of you will be thinking how we are getting this Ubuntu as a username. So if you will click on this connect, right, so you can see this is the username, correct? That is a by default username. Okay, so once this is done, you are logged into your Nexus server. Again, go back to my GitHub repo, okay, and you will see something for nexus.sh. Now let's try. So these are the prerequisite. Here also you can see we are installing OpenJDK. So let me go ahead and okay, so we have to be a root user in order to install these things. So let me paste it again. Once this is done, let's just download the packages now. Now once it is downloaded, let's just untag the packages. And let's configure the Nexus user. And after that, what you have to do, you just have to go to this particular location, and let's take the VI editor mode of this, hit enter, and wherever you see .sonarqube, just make it to only .sonar, okay. 1 2 3 and 4, okay, all good. Sonar, let's re-verify this. Once this is done, great, just come out of it. And once you will do that, now what you have to do, you just have to configure the user which you have mapped just now, right? So for that, what you have to do, you just have to take the vi/opt nexus nexus.rc file will be there, right? You just have to uncomment this file and make the user as a nexus. Okay, once this is done, you have to start the nexus server. How you will do? So for that, you have to run the command sudo -u nexus. This is your user, and take the your nexus bin nexus and start. Once you will hit this, your nexus is getting started. So let's try to access nexus server. Copy this. What is the by default port for Nexus? That is 8081. Jenkins 8080 and Nexus 8081. So let's just enable the traffic, go to security, edit the inbound rules. So this is very important project, okay, in terms of real-time project. So there are many ways to achieve this. So in our complete playlist, we see many more ways to achieve these all things, okay. So in any situation, you will be able to perform the operation without getting stuck. Okay, so just stay tuned till the end of the project. You are going to learn so much of the things in free. My channel is completely based on project, real-time project. So in this location, you will be getting your Nexus password for the first time. Okay, go to your Nexus server and do cat. This is the password. Copy this till root. Copy this and paste here. Sign in. Okay, now it will prompt you for the password. New password. I want to keep Nexus only so that I can remember. Great. So for this time, I will be enabling all the anonymous access. Okay, great. So we have logged into our Nexus server. Now we will see how we can configure our KubeADM cluster. So there will be one cluster and there will be one node. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just create two more servers for this. Server setup are very important, guys. If you will not be able to create and configure, then how you will start the project? So master, I will be naming it as a master. Okay, so I have chosen Ubuntu 20 here, and here I will be choosing T2 medium. Will not work while you are creating this. Okay, so my suggestion is go for T3 medium at least in this project. Okay, wherever you are creating cluster, go for at least T3 medium. Okay, once this is done, let's take some memory. Okay, so here I am creating two server at a time. You can see number of instances is there. Okay, so once this is done, let's launch the instance. So two instances will be created now. One is master and one is node. Click on instances and you can see okay, master, and let's make one as a node. Okay, if time permits we will see. Okay, node. So we have one master and we have one node. Okay, so let me see, let me show you how we can install quickly kubeadm. Okay, so Nexus part is done. Now we can close this. Let's log into our master. This is our master. Take the public IP of this. Before that, let's enable the security perspective. Let's edit the inbound rule, and here also I will be allowing all the traffic anywhere. I think same security group will be attached to the master and the node when you are creating twice at a time. Let's see, let's re-verify this. If we have enabled for master, I will try to see for node here. Okay, so see, this is automatically enabled because the security group they are using, that is common. Okay, now let's log into our master so that we can do the configurations. This is our master. Accept. Ubuntu. And the guys, so the same thing you have to do on some part of code, you have to do on node as well. So create a session for your node also. Okay, this is your node IP. Go to authentication, select your key. Okay, accept. So this is our master. Which is our master? Let me check. 89. 89 is not. Let me change the color, guys. Okay, change settings, appearance, behavior, color. I will be enabling use all system colors, and here I will be choosing bold 12. Okay, so now we can understand this is our master and one is our node. Okay, so now let me start the installation part. So first thing you have to install the Docker. Okay, so this command you have to run on master and worker node both. So be a root user, super user first, sudo su, paste the commands, and the same thing you have to do on node as well. Okay, again be a sudo user here, paste the commands. So Docker installation is going on. Let me stop and come once Docker will be installed. Once Docker is installed, let's curl the package, and we have to restart the Docker on every node, correct? So Docker is restarted, and second thing is also done on master. I will do the same on node. Okay, done. Let's update the repo now on master and as well as node, correct? So we are good. Now you have to run the kubeadm installation command, apt install kubeadm. Okay, let's run on both of the master and as well as node. Hit enter, hit enter. Master is slow, node is fast. Let me stop this video and come back to you once this part is done. So once that is done, you have to do kubeadium init and you have to define a network, the CIDR, some CIDR. So this one you have to do on master. Just go back to the master and just hit enter. So it will start initializing your Kubernetes things, whatever is required in order to install the Kubernetes. Okay, so this is basically a time taking process. So let me pause this video and come back to you once this is done. You can see the logs here. Let me, so this is what you will get. Okay, so this one you have to copy it gently, and the same you have to execute onto the node, then only the connection will happen from the master. Okay, let me clear the screen and paste that command we got from this master. Okay, just hit enter. It will start creating connection between the master and the node. Correct. So now this is done. Let's see if we have some command left. So we have copied the token now. So on master we have to again do some setups. So let's do it. Okay, I think let me clear the screen. We have to set up the path, right? So that is what we are doing here. Okay, once this is done, what is the next thing? I have to execute this command onto the master again. So I will be keeping this all link. Okay, or for more details you can join my YouTube channel where there are so many videos you will get like this. So once this is done, one more command we are left with. Let's take this and let's just go back and try to run here. And once you will run this command, now what we have to do, we can check either the nodes are connected with my master or not, right? So let's clear the screen. So let's do kubectl get nodes. Okay, here we go. You can see 89 IP we have here, right? So like this we can see, okay, the connection has been happened. So we are almost done with the installation part and configuration also. Okay, so configuration part is still pending, like going ahead we will see with the Jenkins. We have to integrate everything, right? We have to integrate everything using Jenkins, so that we will see. So this is my simple Java application. So I will show you what is the output we will get once we will run this. So here you can see this is what it is going to print once our Jenkins pipeline will be done. Okay, once we will deploy this application, we will see something, some message like this. Correct. So now let's create a Docker file, sorry, Jenkins file. So this is my Jenkins file. Here I'll be creating, I will be writing declarative pipelines. How to write pipeline? Okay, with the pipeline you will be choosing an agent to run. I will be choosing any as of now, not a specific, because we are not following any master slave concept here. Okay, and once this is done, you have stages. Inside stages you will have multiple stage. Correct. So let's see what will be our first stage. So in first stage I want to perform the SonarQube quality checks on my code, right, as discussed. Let's go back to the diagram. Let's see the workflow. Click on the workflow. So we have to pull the code from GitHub and we have to perform the static code analysis, correct, using Maven SonarQube plugin. So how we will do that? So let's see. Go back to the code, and here let's name something meaningful. Sonar quality status. And inside every stage there will be steps, and inside every steps there will be a script. Okay, and here what I want to do, I just want to choose a specific Maven. Okay, like going ahead what will happen, some like some QA team or development team want to use a different image, want to use a different version of the Maven, right? For SonarQube plugin, Sonar static code analysis, right? So in order to make it dynamic, what should we do? We should go for Docker concept, right? So based on the version we are passing, we can choose a specific Docker container with a image version, a specific image version, and we can perform the operation. So in that case, what we will do, let's see. So in the stage section, for this stage only, so this is the beauty of this declarative pipeline. You can have agent for different stages. You can be agent specific for different stages, right? So let's type agent. Inside the agent, just type docker. In the docker you have to mention which image you want to use. Okay, here you can mention any version if you have. Okay, if you will not give anything, it will choose the latest. So in this project I will go for latest. Okay, and here we have to provide the steps, right? So how we will do the SonarQube quality static code analysis? So for we have to do what, we have to integrate our Nexus with configure Nexus, correct? So as we know, like there will be a two-way handshake. Like Jenkins will execute the Maven. When Jenkins will execute this stage, okay, what will happen? Okay, so Maven has a SonarQube plugin. Okay, that will help this to send all the artifact to the SonarQube server. SonarQube server check if code is validated or not, how many bug counts are there, and or not, what is the code coverage are there. Based on that, it is going to response back to the Jenkins. If the code is fine, then it will go for the next stage, otherwise it will fail. Okay, so let's go ahead, just do the. Okay, let's go to the Jenkins dashboard first. Why it is asking again for password? Okay, let's take the password. So guys, a second way to log into any server is simply what you have to do, just select the server, click on connect, and this connect, I mean connect, this connect option. So I think I missed the configuration of Jenkins, that is why we are getting this sudo cat and the path. Here we will get the password, copy the password. I have done, but don't know why. I already told this part, like, okay. So let's choose a username. I will be choosing admin only, and password, let's choose Jenkins. Okay, let's take admin only. Email ID, anything you can give, that is not a necessary. Once this is done, so our Jenkins setup is complete. Start using Jenkins. So First thing what we have to do, we just have to go to this manage plugin, go to this manage Jenkins, then manage plugin, come here and click Sonar, and I will be installing this SonarQube scanner, SonarQube gates, quality gates. Okay, Sonar gates, SonarQube code coverage. Main is what? Main is your SonarQube scanner and quality gates. Okay, nothing is left. Just install without restart. So all the plugin are being installed. Let's duplicate this page, guys. So what will happen? You can minimize the time. Okay. So now once this is done, you have to go back again to manage Jenkins because you have installed the SonarQube plugin, right? So now go to configure system. Once you have installed the plugin, you will get the SonarQube option here. Okay. Let me search for this page is loading. Let me refresh this. Okay, so here we are. So you will see this option of SonarQube server. Make sure you are checking this option, environment variable. You have to add the SonarQube server here. Add some meaningful name. Okay, Sonar server. Okay, here you have to provide the IP and the port on which your SonarQube has been exposed. So this is what you have to provide. Okay, I have given. Here you have to provide some authentication token, right? So you will not be able to do that. Just hit apply, save, and come back here. Again, go to manage Jenkins, configure systems. Sonar, and here you have to add the authentication token. Just click on that, and here you just have to choose this option, select text. Okay, once you have done this, you have to provide some meaningful name. Okay, so here you have to provide some secrets. So how we will get that? Go to SonarQube, go to administration, go to this security option. In the security option you will have this users. Once you will get this, just click on this token part, and here name something Jenkins, generate, take this pass. Okay, this is one time, this is one time, so make sure you are saving this somewhere. Okay, once you got this, here make sure you are doing this to done. Okay, once you have given this, here you have to provide some ID. I am choosing this description, also this, add this Sonar token. Okay, once this is done, just apply and save. Okay, one more thing what you have to do, you just have to go to this SonarQube. Second thing, go to configuration. I told you two-way hand check. First way is this token one, Jenkins will authenticate to this SonarQube, and the second is SonarQube will send logs confirmation to Jenkins. So go to configuration, go to webhooks, create, because nothing is there. Okay, so name something like Jenkins webhook. Okay, so it is giving me suggestion. You just need to replace this URL with the Jenkins URL. Okay, take this, go to your Sonar, paste this, make sure there is single slash, just click on create. Okay, So this is all about the configuration between your SonarQube and Jenkins. Now what you need to authenticate. Jenkins should authenticate, right? That is why I told you to open two tabs. Okay, just go back to the dashboard, create a new item first. So let's create a new project. So DevOps Java CI. Okay, so this is going to be the name of my pipeline. I will be choosing here. Okay, this pipeline one. So just select that, click on OK. Once you are here, first thing I will do, I will do some setups so that I will not have much number of this old builds. So that is why I have done this. Now once this is done, you just have to go back, and here instead of keeping our pipeline script here, what I will do, I will take it from my GitHub. So here instead of SCM, I will be choosing Git, and in the Git you have to put the repo URL. Okay, so which code I will be using, I will pin this link to my GitHub, sorry, in the video, so that you can also make use of it. So this is the one, just copy the HTTPS one repo. This is my repo URL, and if your Jenkins, if your GitHub is private, then you have to set up the credential here, but this is my public repo, as you can see. So, and this is the second thing, it is on the main branch, right? Go to main, and here I have to put the script path, right? So it will be Jenkins file only, because when it will try to copy the project, Jenkins file is the uh, in this line only, right? It will find out directly. You can keep this Jenkins file in any directory, so you have to provide, like if you will keep in target, you have to provide the path like target/Jenkins file. So that is why I just given Jenkins file here. Okay, once this is done, what you have to do, you just have to generate some pipeline syntax. Just click on this, you have to hit with sonar. Okay, so this is the one you need, and here you have to choose the authentication token which you have configured, right? Once you will choose this, you have to click on this, just get this, copy this, and go back to your Jenkins file, and in the script section just paste it. So let me reframe this. So once this is done, what is the command you will use to achieve this? So for that, mvn clean. So this is the sonar is the plugin which is present in the Maven, so that we will be using in order to do the static code analysis. Sonar quality check. Okay, so once this is done, let's push this file. Okay, static code block added. Once this is done, we can push git push origin and main. This is the branch in which our code is there, right? Just hit enter. Okay, here we go. This is fine, right? Once you have done the configuration, let's execute our pipeline and let's see if any issues we are facing. Okay, so our pipeline is started now. Let's go through the logs. Okay, so invalid agent type docker specified, so something we are missing. Okay, so I understood why we are getting this, because if you are running a docker as a agent, so you have to install a plugin again for that. So go to manage Jenkins. So, okay, so we already have one. Go to dashboard, go to manage Jenkins, go to manage plugins, and here you have to install docker plugin. Okay, then only you can achieve. Click on this is docker, install without restart. Now once this is installed, you will be able to run the docker agent thing, docker commands here. Okay, docker agent thing. Now you just click on build now. Again it failed. So why this is happening? I think we just need to restart this. Let me check. Affected installing the docker, just restart the Jenkins server. Okay, let me. So docker pipeline build and use docker containers from pipelines. So let's check this. It is succeed now. So now our pipeline is running. Okay, so that plugin you need to install in order to create the container. Okay, let's see what is the error now. We will debug. So what I have done in order to uh, debug the error, so what I have done, I just have installed uh, installed docker onto my Jenkins machine. Once you will install, it should not ask, but for the issue I have installed just docker onto my Jenkins server. Now it is working, you can see. So our Sonar static code analysis is going on. Okay, so it is succeed, right? So once it is done, how you will check? You can directly click on this. Okay, otherwise you can go to your SonarQube, go to your projects, and you will see this project created like this. So you can see that is why we used SonarQube. If you have a large lines of code, then you can see how many lines of code are there. If you are using a big code, then automatically you can see how many percentage of code duplication you are doing, what is the code coverage, what the code smells. Okay, what are the vulnerabilities and what are the bugs. So these all things you can see. So as you can see, this is passed right now, so you can go ahead, right? So it is fine. SonarQube static code analysis is done. Now we will do what? Quality gate status check. Okay, so let's go back to our Jenkins file and let's add one more stage here. Hope it is closing here. A stage, and here we will do quality gate status. Under stage steps script. Okay, and here you need to pass the command. So we'll get that. Go back again to your Jenkins. Okay, this is we ran. duplicate this, again go to the file, your job, and click on pipeline syntax generator. Here search wait for quality, this is the one we are looking for. Once you are here, just click the SonarQube token which you have configured in the beginning of the project. Just copy this and now paste it here. Okay, once you have pasted, let's check this if all good. QualityGate status added means a stage. Let's push this code and let's just try. So these two things you have to do if you are a DevOps engineer. Okay, if you are having a Java code or .NET code. Okay, these two things are must, you have to do. Okay, so these all things, see, we haven't installed Maven onto our local, right? Everything is automated. We are using Docker. We can use any image to compile the code. Okay, in locally we do not need anything. Okay, one more stage we will have, like for quality gate status checking. Okay, so quality gate status is done. Let's check. So see, well, if it is saying quality gate status is okay, then okay. Or either how you will check, if you will go to here. Okay, oh, this is the second way. Okay, so now what is our next stage? Our next stage is we will do Docker build and push to which repo? Nexus repo, right? So as I have told in the beginning of this project, I will not be using any public repository to store my Docker images. I will be using my private hosted Nexus repository where I will be creating my repos and I will be exposing at some ports, right? So that all we will see here. Steps, scripts, script, it is a script. Okay, so now what are all the setups you have to do in order to achieve this thing, correct? So how you will do that? So for docker build, you need what? You need a Docker file, right? So let's create a Docker file so that we can compile our code. So this Docker file is basically a multi-stage Docker file. So in the first we will compile the code and get the artifact, and in the next we will be copying the artifact. Okay, so let's see, Docker file. So Docker file start with from the base image you need. I will be using Maven as anything, any name you can give. Okay, so in multi-stage Docker file you have to give a name, like this is aliasing, this is called aliasing. We will be using this name to copy the artifact in the second path. Okay, so I will be using Maven to compile the artifact, right? So once this is done, let's set a work directory as well. Work directory I will be using /app. After that I want to code from current working directory to container working directory. This dot means from here this current working directory, you are copying all the things to this dot. This dot is nothing but this work directory. Okay, once this is done, you have to, how you will generate the artifact, you have to do ambient install. Okay, one stage is done. Now in second stage, how you will do, you need to get the artifact, you need to get the artifact to run the Java application, right? So I will be using OpenJDK. Let's take 11 this version, and here also you can set work directory. slash app only I will be choosing, and here copy from stage. Which stage? This alias name you have to provide. Okay, and what do you want to copy? You want to copy what? You want to copy the target, right? The artifact. Here you have some, here you will get some artifact, right? The your basically the jar or var files, right? So that jar file you will be copying. So how, where is the jar file it is generating? So this place in the work directory you will have a target folder, and inside the target folder just go to the pom.xml. So this is the final name. This is the final name by which you will get the jar. Okay, jar or var, how you will check? It should show here, but okay, let's go back, and this is the jar you will get, jar. And where you want to copy this? I want to copy to this. So this will be in the temp, right? From that, once it will do all those things, it will destroy itself and go to temp, and from that temp we are copying whatever is required, right? This jar file we need, and this jar file we are copying it to the this work directory. Okay, once this is done, let's expose some port. So this is nothing, don't think like this is exposing. This is just an instruction. When people will use my image, they will get to know like this port, at this port I have to expose the container so that my application will be accessible. This is the CMD, how we start a Java application. Java -jar, and here you have to provide the var jar name, jar or var. Copy this, paste it here, and this is it. So once this is done, let's do one thing. Let's go to our Jenkins. Okay, because Jenkins will be compiling this Docker image, right? So that is why Docker should be installed on Jenkins, right? So before going ahead, let's just test this Docker file. Okay, let's go to our Jenkins. Let's log into our Jenkins first. Is this Jenkins server? Okay, copy to public IP, copied. Where lives Jenkins workspace ls, which is our, okay, this will have all the files. Okay, and here we will be keeping our Docker file. So let's do one thing. Let's just push our Docker file first. Okay, this is not a good way. Okay, let's git add, git commit, Docker file added. Let's just push. Once github will push, git will push your Docker file, then we can utilize that file. Okay, once this is done, just run your job, build now. Okay, Let's see what we did. Jenkins file. Maybe this is empty. Let's see the error. Okay, so let's, as of now this is not required. First we will check the multi-stage Docker file is fine or not, then only we will go for next, right? Again to git push it. What happened? Let's go to the GitHub and check Jenkins file. Okay, there was nothing issue because like before it was getting pushed to the git, we already ran the pipeline, that is why it didn't pick. Okay, so right now we do not have the Docker file present here, right? Once this pipeline is done, we can do again ls and we can see Docker file is here. Let's try to build this Docker file. Docker build -t test app, and let's, okay, so what we are doing, we are just manually building these things first. If all okay, then we can automate the thing. This thing we do in real-time environment. Builder succeed now. Okay, now you can see it has copied and it is running the second stage of our Docker file. Okay, we will get image name like the thing we gave, like I think test something. Okay, so it has copied, right? You can see this one, this part. Once this is done, so once you will do docker image ls, you will get the image. Now let's try to access the application, access the image, either we are able to do that or not. So how we will do that? Docker run -d. So the problem is my Jenkins is also running on 8080 port, right? So we can't use the same 80 port to expose, 8080 port to expose. So what I will do, I will use here 8080 -d-p 8081. Any traffic will come is coming to my this port of host, it should be transferred to the container 8080, right? And once this is done, you have to take the name. Okay, this is the image I want to use, correct? Once this is done, just hit enter. Sorry, hit enter. Your container is created now. Let's see, docker container ls, spelling mistake. So this is your container running, right? So now how you will access this container? Just go to your dashboard, take the IP of the Jenkins, and at what port you have exposed? 8081. So this is what. So our multi-stage Docker file is running very fine. Okay, so once this is done, let's just clear the things which we have created manually. Where is that? First remove the image. Okay, now let's remove the container. Docker rm and the container id. Hit enter. You have to do force removal. So great. Now let's add our stage here. Fine. So now one more thing. Okay, so we have tested our multi-stage Docker file. What is the next thing we have to do? So let's add the command first so that it can compile, it can run the Docker file and create image for us. Correct. So I will be writing here multi-stage shell script, multi-line shell script, sorry. So Docker build -t. Okay, so one more thing guys, now we have planned to use Nexus repo as our private repository, right? So for that, what you have to do, just go back to the Nexus repo. Okay, you have to sign in first. It got logged out. Admin password is Nexus. Great. You have to create a repo, right? Just click on this, just click on repositories. You have to click on this create repository because you are creating a repo, right? Now check where is Docker hosted. This is one, Docker hosted. Just click on this, and here you have to choose a meaningful name, okay, for your repository. Okay, so what do you want to choose here? Docker hosted. Okay, and here I will be choosing HTTP, and here I will be giving a port like 8083. So I have exposed this. Just click on create repo. So this is our Docker hosted, and if you want to see anything is there or not, just click on this box, browse server contents, browse, and here Docker hosted is there. You will see nothing is there as of now. Okay, now once you have created, you have to do a second thing. Okay, what you have to do, just clear the screen. Let me clear the screen. Just go back to this my Docker, my GitHub repo. Search for this CI/CD Gradle application. Okay, here you have something like wiki. Click on this, and here you will see like how you can create host Docker hosted repo in Nexus and push the Docker image through Jenkins. Just select this. Here I have already mentioned all the steps. You can see I have click on repository. You have created Docker hosted. We have selected. We have given some name. We have exposed at 83. Once this is done, you need to create this file, right? So follow these all steps. Okay, once this is done, you will, if file is not there, it will create. Okay, once this is done, what is the next step you have to follow? Copy this and this way. Okay, it is already there, so you have to put the Nexus IP of your Nexus. Okay, what is the Nexus IP? Only IP is required here. Go back. Okay, only IP you did, right? Don't save it, just take it and go back to your this file and paste it here. Make sure you are not doing any mistake, otherwise it will not work. Okay, once you have done this, what is the next thing you have to do? Just check the systemctl start. You have to restart the Docker, and now once this is done, you have to choose Docker info. Once you will do Docker info, you can see, okay, you can see your insecure registry will be configured. So this is what, right? Your insecure registry is configured. Now do you want to log in and check, are you able to log in or not, like we do docker login command, right? So yeah, so let's reframe that as well. Docker login, what is the Nexus username for you? That is admin. What is the Nexus password? For me, that is Nexus. And what is the Nexus IP? This is your Nexus IP. Replace this, copy, and go to your doc Jenkins and hit enter. Something wrong. Docker login requires at most one argument. Okay, because see, username and hyphen password. Enter. So login is succeed, right? So in this way you have to configure your private repository for Nexus, right? Once this is done, we will try to automate these all things. So how you will tag? You have to take the same IP and the port. Okay, you take the Nexus IP and the port. We will tag the image so that it will go to the particular repo. Correct. So before that, are we going to use Docker Nexus repo password like this? This is not a correct way, right? So what we will do here, try to generate password with, we will bind it, click on secret text, Nexus credential, add credential, what type? Text. This normal text, leave it global. What is the secret? Provide your Nexus password. What is that? That is, for me it is Nexus. What is the Nexus password? Okay, just choose it and generate pipeline syntax. Copy this, okay, and close the bracket. Okay, so once this is done, what we will do, we will tag Spring application, and here I want to use a version. Okay, whenever we will build the pipeline like Jenkins pipeline, it should tag it with the particular job ID. So at for them it is 11, right? So this number I want to append. How we will do that? Simply you have to create an environment variable. So after agent, just hit enter, environment, check the spelling, and here version equals to env dot build id. Okay, once you will get this, what you have to do, you just have to pass the same here, Spring app and the version. How you will get this here? Simply by okay, and where is the Docker file? It is in the current working directory, that is why dot. Fine. Once this is done, we need the Docker login command, correct? Copy this command. Once it will tag, it has to log into the Nexus, correct? So admin, here you have to pass the password. How you will pass the password? this is containing the password, right? So again dollar and this. Once you will log in, what you have to do, you just have to push the image, right? Docker image, docker push only, I guess. Docker push, and which image do you want to push? This image, right? Just copy the same. So this image will be pushed now, and after that we do not want the image to be locally, so docker remove image, this image. Okay, so let's try now. Once it is done, we will try to build. So it started building and tagging our image based on the docker file we have given. Let's see if all good, then we can go for the next stage. So build is succeed. Now it started pushing the docker image to the Nexus repo. So we can check in the Nexus if the job is succeed now. Once the job is succeed, we can check in the Nexus. Just refresh this, and here we can see this is the application and the tag to the build. So now what do I want? I want to send some message, I want to send some email, I want to send some log email along with the mail. Okay, either the Jenkins build is failing or it is succeed. These all things I want to mail to some person which is in my team. So how we will do that? So for that, what we have to do, we just have to add a post blog, or you can go back to the wiki page of mine. You just click on this wiki, and here I have already told you all the steps like configuring mail server in Jenkins. Okay, so first thing you have to do, you have to install this email extension plugin. Let's go and install this plugin. Go to manage Jenkins, email extension. This is what we need. Email extension template is there. Or let's check if it is installed. I do not see here. Email extension plugin is already there. Okay, once this is done, what is the next you have to do? You will, when you will go back to your manage Jenkins, configure systems, search for email. Okay, email notification. So first we will do what? First we will come here. Okay, so SMTP server will be SMTP if you are using gmail.com. okay, and what else? You have to configure the SMTP authentication and you have to tick this use SSL. Okay, so just click on this use SMTP authentication, use SSL, and here you have to provide the username and the password. Okay, how you will get this? So here basically you have to provide the Gmail. Okay, so what is the so this is my Gmail ID. Just copy this, go back to the Jenkins and paste. Along with that you need a password. So you will be thinking, is it the Gmail password? So no. So in the latest update, if I will show you, you just go here, just go to the and here if you have to come to the security. So you have to do what? You have to make sure like this two-step verification you have already enabled. Okay, otherwise this way will not work. Okay, now you can see here in this sign in to Google there is a app password section. Just click on that, and here it will ask you to authenticate your your Gmail. Just provide the password and authenticate. Once you will authenticate, so see here you have to generate a password, application password. So how you will do, which one you should select? So we will select the other option. Name anything like Jenkins demo. Okay, and here you have to generate the password. Okay, so see this is what going to be your password. Okay, just copy this and paste it here. Take the password, go back and paste here. Now you want to test it, then you can just test configuration by sending an email. Just click on this and here provide any email. So I'll be using the same email ID. Okay, once done just hit. So email was sent successfully. Just go to your email and just refresh. You should get something like test email. Okay, this is fine, right? So this is the way you have to do. Now this is fine. Now we want to set some custom alerts, right? Whenever the pipeline is failing or not. So for that I am going to do the configuration. Once this is done, there is one email extended. Okay, email extended notification. Again you have to put smtp.gmail.com. okay, and you can for my this document. Here you have to provide 465 and here you have to choose the credential. Okay, here smtp port 465 and here choose the credential. Go to advanced, the credential, add the credential. Okay, username and password. Paste your username means your Gmail ID. Okay, just take your Gmail ID which you want to use to send a notification, and here password I already told you to copy, use the same. Okay, and here you will give some meaningful name, Gmail auth. Okay, I will be choosing this, paste, add, and make sure you are choosing here. Okay, once this is done, you have to select this option, use SSL. Okay, so till this time, till this we have done till this step. Now you have to choose this default content type as this. Okay, and you have to provide some email ID, okay, on which you want to send the email. Okay, just go down, plain text. Instead of plain text, I will be choosing this. Okay, and what else? I think nothing left. Okay, let it be. Now you can apply and save. So once your email configuration is done, you will come here, you will be adding a post block here. Okay, means either it is failing or succeeding, this block should always run. Okay, so how you will get this? So just go to the same GitHub repo and just copy this. So see, in earlier phases, what used to happen, Gmail was giving this less secure app access, you can directly on it. Okay, but in the latest update you will not be able to achieve this. So that is why we have done the latest way. Okay, you will not get any on any YouTube channel as of now. So earlier you just enable this and give your Gmail username and password, and it like this it was working. Now we have done the latest way, we have done to the latest way. So okay, so now let's paste this block. Okay, all is good here. And here make sure you have to keep your Gmail ID here, otherwise. Okay, on which you want to send the notification, you have to provide here, right? So once this is done, let's just try this at least. Hope we have saved it. Okay, we have already saved it. Okay, just git add, git commit, post block added, right? This is very important part, this post block. Okay, if you are working in a real-time organization, not real-time organization, means in an organization. Okay, so let's run this pipeline now, build this pipeline, build now. If all good, so it started, we should get an email. So till now we didn't get. Okay, because the pipeline is still running. Let's wait. Once this is done, we will check. Let me pause this video and come back to you once this is done. So the email is running now. Let's check, click on logs, or better go to the email. So see, this is the one email we have got. The project name is this, the build number is this, and the URL for the build is this. So in this way only you can, in organization, what happens, like people, the higher people like your tech lead or your uh, tech lead should approve this, then only this will go to the CD part. Okay, if your build is succeed, they are fine with that. Okay, so this is what we have done. Now let's go to the datree section, datree.io. So in order to install datree, you need a Helm chart, right? So what I have done, I just have kept my Helm chart into this Kubernetes directory. Inside this you can see my Helm chart, my application is there. So you can see the template folder is there, deployment.yaml services file it is containing. Along with that, you can see this is having the chart.yaml, like it is having the version, the app version, and here is the values.yaml where I have variabilized these all things. So do not bother about the values I have passed, like these are the dummy variables. So when I will do the CT part, I will be overriding these all values, okay, through the pipeline. Okay, so do not bother about this, but these are the things we have variabilized. Okay, so if you want to know, if I am assuming that you already know Kubernetes. If you do not know, please let me know. I will make a separate video for that. Okay, comment down. So once this is done, in order to work with datree, what are the things you have to do? You have to install Helm chart first. Okay, Helm first onto your system. So just go to your my installation. Again, go back to my repo. You will get everything here, whatever is required. Okay, just click on this. Okay, come to installation, and here helm.sh. So this is what we need as of now. Okay, so let's run the command first to install the Helm, where Jenkins will be performing this all operation, right? So this all command should be already present on Jenkins, correct? So let's go to the home directory, because we are okay. Once this is done, let's execute. Perfect. Now what is the next command? You have to run the executable. So once this is done, if you will type Helm, you will get something like this. Okay, once this is done, you can install the datree as well. What is the datree version? Okay, what happened? Unzip command not found. Okay, so we have to install the unzip command as well. So how we will install? At get install. Okay, once this is done, now we can again do the curl. So once this is done, let's try to write the stage now. Go again back to the Jenkins file. So here we will add one more stage. Name this stage. Okay, we will try to find out the misconfigs using datree and Helm chart, right? Stage step. Okay, and here where is our Helm chart? This is inside this Kubernetes directory, right? So how we will reach out to that directory? Again, go back to the pipeline. Again, go back to the pipeline syntax. Again, choose here directory, and here write Kubernetes/app/my app. I think my app generate. Take this. Okay, paste it here. Close the bracket, and here you have to run the command. That is basically how you will get this command. I'll show you. Just go to datree.io. You will get this beautiful interface. Just click on see docs, and here in the integration section, just click on this. Here you can see, if you will go to Helm plugin, just click on this, or Helm datree will open, and here you can see how you can install. This way you can install the Helm plugin. Okay, I think that we have already done. Get Helm 3, or you can do that as well, like just take this command, copy, go back to the Jenkins, install. Okay, so this done what? This has installed here the datree, right? Once this is done, this is the command we will be using, okay, to trigger datree policy check via Helm CLI. So datree, why use it is already clearly mentioned here. If you will click on this link, to run a policy check against your Kubernetes manifest, correct? So let's go to pipeline, let's paste the command, and what is our directory? In the, this is our directory already we have opened, right? My app. So this should be executed now. Just try to paste this, push this, datree block added, push. If anything comes, we will to resolve it. So let's run the job again. This time what should happen? Datree should do some validation check against the Helm chart. So if it is fine, like we show in the high level diagram, if there is no any misconfig, if check doesn't fails, then it will succeed and it will try to push the Helm chart to Nexus. If it is not, then it will mark CI as failed and it should send the failure email this time. So let's see if all good. Let's check our repo. If we will refresh, we should have got something. Just check the tags. 13 build is running, means yet to come, I guess. Okay, 14 is running. Okay, so it failed. Okay, so datree 1 is failed. Let's see what is the issue with this. Okay, but I can't see the logs. Refresh this. 14 is there. Okay, so now let's try to debug what is the issue with that particular stage. Unknown command datree for Helm. Okay, so why this is happening, like these all things are getting, if you will log in as a Jenkins user, okay, Jenkins things are getting executed with Jenkins user, right? So here if you will type Helm is installed, but datree version is also installed. And okay, let's do this as well. cd/var varlib Jenkins workspace. Go to our application, Mr. DevOps Java CI ls, and here we will try to, okay, we have to go to the particular folder, right? cd kubernetes my app. Okay, great. And here we can see all of the charts are available. Now we will run the command helm datree test, and where is the file? Here is the file. Okay, so see, unknown command for datree and helm, the same we are getting here, correct? Okay, so something issue with this, right? So I think we have to do the installation as a Jenkins user here. Okay, let's try to do that. Let's try to install the Helm here. Now let's try to run the command. It should work. Okay. Helm.tree is not working here. Password for Jenkins. Let me set some password for Jenkins. Sudo I think let's go back first. Sudo set some password. Okay, now log in as a Jenkins user and let's go to this place again. Yes, okay. Kubernetes, my app. Okay, fine. Now let's try to run the command. What was the command? Let's go back again and here. Again, it is giving error. Let's do one thing. Let's try to install this plugin here. Now let's try to update it as well. Once this is done. Okay, now we can see this is working fine. Correct. So the Jenkins job should fill. Okay, we will see through the pipeline. Okay, what you have to do, you just have to be the Jenkins user and you have to install these all commands instead of a root user. Okay, in this case, let's run this and let's see the error logs from here. Then we will try to rectify. Okay. Let's try to check the logs. So why it failed? Because your CI is currently not reporting policy check to the result, and you have to log in here. Okay, just log in. So I have already logged in with my GitHub, you can see here. Okay, so once this is done, what you have to do now, you just have to click on settings. So Jenkins should authenticate to the datree, right? So just click on token management, just take this token. Okay, once you got this token, just go back to this and here you have to search with environment. Okay, just choose it and here you have to provide an environment variable. So what I will do, datree token equals to, okay, and just click on generate. Just copy this and go back to your file and here inside the directory with the credential, here I will be closing this. Okay, now it looks fine. Now let's run this. So I have re-executed the pipeline. Now this time it should go. It should fail, but something meaningful. Okay. Let so we are not at all considering our inbox, right? Let's see the failure message if we have our success message. So see, failure message is also coming and success message as well. Okay, now let's see the logs at least. So it is succeed, right? Why? Like suppose what should happen if your organization has, okay, let's come back here. So you can create your own custom policy from here. Let me check inactive rules as well and check node port. So see, prevent service from exposing node port, right? Suppose your organization has your organization can enable this. If they will enable na, then your Helm chart is going to fail because your Helm chart is using this node port, right? Go to Kubernetes, your templates, and go to values.yaml. You can see the service type is node port, right? If you want to make it fail, then okay, so you have enabled from here, correct? Now it should be in your what active rules, correct? So now let's try to search node port. It's still not here. Node port is here, right? It is enabled. So this time again you try to run the pipeline. Okay, this time it should fail, correct? Right. Okay, so let's try to see why it failed. So you can see here why it got failed. Incorrect value for type equals to node port. Prevent service from exposing node port, right? So suppose if right now you have the access of datree.io, that is why you are doing these all things. But in the real-time case, maybe you will not be have the access of this datree.io. So in that case, you have to prevent. You have to work with their setups only. Okay, you have to. They will be, suppose they will enable or disable from here. In this way, you will be configuring. Okay, once I have disabled, this will not violate the rules, the policy, right? And now this time it will fail. Okay, now once this is done, what we have to do in this case, if check fails, then it should send a mail, right? Let's check if we have got an email for failure. So we got it, right? Okay, so now we once this is done, what we have to do, we just have to push the. So how you will push this? So for that again you have to go back to my GitHub repo. For that also I have wrote a wiki page. And here you have creating Helm hosted repository in Nexus. Okay, just click on this link. You will get all the instruction required to do this. Okay, so first you have to go to the Nexus, create repository and Helm hosted. Go to the Nexus, go to this setting icon, go to repositories, create. You have to create a new repository for Helm, right? Click on that. This is one you will choose, Helm hosted. Just select this. Here you will choose Helm repo, name anything, and here let's keep all the thing by default only, no need to change anything. Okay, once this you have created, you just have to come here to create one more stage. Okay, let's add one more stage. Okay, here what I will be doing, I just need to push this Helm chart because the test case has been passed, right? The datree test cases has been passed. So now this version of Helm chart should be pushed to the Helm chart repository, so the other team can make use of this. Okay, for different environments. So what we have to do, how you will configure, just go back again and go back to my GitHub. Okay, you have to use this, copy it and come back to the pipeline and paste it. Fine. And here you have to provide the Nexus password. So to provide the Nexus password, you have to use this, right? Just copy this block from here, with credential. Let's close it here. Perfect. Now you need the Nexus password, make use of this. Here you need the IP of the Nexus, right? Just copy the Nexus IP only, come here. Okay, and this is Helm hosted, what name we gave, Helm repo we gave, right? We have to give Helm. Okay, and here what I am doing, I am just taking the Helm version and making it as a tzed and zip file. So in order to get the Helm version, I have to write some command here as well. So one more thing, like we have to do these all things in which directory? In Kubernetes directory, right? So let's copy this part as well into the credential, this directory. Okay, and this directory. Okay, okay, by coming to this directory, these all commands should get executed. Let's add a multi-line shell script. Okay, let's go back, remove this. So I need to get the Helm version. How I will get the Helm version? If you will go to this chart.yml, so right now my Helm version is this, right? So based again and again we will try to create a different releases of this chart. So we have to update this version, right? Based on that version only this should get updated. So how you will capture that? So for that we have to run some shell script. Okay, so let's make a variable helm version equals to, or what you can do, you can go to your this Jenkins and here you do helm show chart. And what is your Helm chart name? This. Okay, you are already there. So see, you can see this is the version, correct? So this version you need to take from shell script. So copy the same command. So here instead of my app, I will not take this name, I will just take this Helm show chart my app. Okay, and here I will try to grep the version. This is the version, right? We will try to grep the version first. Once we will grep the version, what do you want, what do we want from this? We want to cut it. Let me tell you what does this mean. So using this delimiter like this colon, I will be dividing the version into two parts. So one is this version and one is this 0 to 0, and this is the delimiter, right? So that's what we are doing here. Once this is done, what you have to do, okay, so this is done. Let's see, are we getting or not? Just run this command using helm show chart my app. Let's copy this, go back to the Linux, and let's go one directory back, paste the command, hit enter. Okay, grep version, I think something we missed. Grep, what we have to grep the version, hit enter. So see, it is still taking one space, right? That space we have to neglect. So in order to neglect that space, what we have to do, I have to increase here, I have to give here a space so that it will cut the space, correct? Now try. Great. So this is what we need, and we need to pass, correct, for the Helm version. Once you got the Helm version, what you have to do, you have to tag, correct, you have to tar the file. So the command is tar hyphen czvf, and here you have to provide the star. Copy this, okay, and what you have to provide the directory. Okay, so whatever file is in this directory, this should be tarred use by this name my app and the Helm version 0.20, correct? That's what we got here. Okay, and once this is done, we are uploading the same file to the Helm repository, correct? Now if it is done, let's try to push it to the Helm repository. Let's see if all good. Once it is pushed, we should see, we should start the pipeline again. So right now our repository, Helm repository, doesn't have anything. Browse Helm repo. It is Helm repo having index file. Maybe that is a default file that is not of use. Okay, let's go back to the pipeline if all good. It is checking the QualityGate status. You can see 15 seconds ago it got passed. There is just one code smell and the number of lines of code is this. It is pushing it to the Nexus repo. So what version? 18 version we should get. Go to the Nexus, browse, Docker hosted, 18 version we should get. Great. Once this is done, what's next? Identifying misconfigs, that is also passed, right? Because we have disabled the node port section. So once this is disabled, it should push to the Nexus repo. Let's see the logs if all good. Okay, this is what. Okay, let's see. Go to the Nexus, browse, and where is Helm repo? If you will click on my app, you can see this is the Helm chart we have got. Okay, and if you have got this, we should have got an email as well for the success. So in the last we have seen like end-to-end CI part, correct? So this is our CI mail. Okay, the build number is this, my pipeline name, job name is this, and this is the URL of the job, correct? If you want to click on this, if you have the access, people have the access, they can directly come here and they can directly check all the logs, like by clicking on this console output, they can see everything here. Passing YAML validation, the policy check is also done, correct? Total rule passed is this much. Okay, and see, you can see all rules. How you will get the datree thing? When you will run, you will get something like this. You just have to click on this and you have to get registered by either your email ID or your GitHub account. Once you will log in, okay, you have to do the configuration by setting up the like passing the authentication token. We got it from the datree.io, right? The same we have to, you have to do in that way only. So this is what we have done. Okay, so like this, for the time constant I will be stopping there. In the next phase we will see how we can deploy this Nexus how we can deploy this Helm chart which has been passed against the datree.io rules onto the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so that we have already created to KubeADM cluster. So we will be deploying our application onto that, but we have already seen how the application will work using the Docker. Okay, so no worries about that. You can also try, you can also, till the time you can also try using that. Okay, if any issues you are facing, just you can join my YouTube channel, you can join my YouTube, you can take my YouTube membership, or you can come on the Telegram where we discuss about the issues, okay, related to the project, or any consult, anything, any queries you have to, if either you want to switch to the DevOps domain or any queries do you have, you just have to register through the link given into this video description. I will be happy to help, our team will be happy to help you. Okay, so see you in the next video. Thank you so much. If you really like my